The WNBA All-Star teams were announced last night. The format is Team USA versus Team WNBA. So it's the USA Women's National Team, all headed to the Olympics, taking on a roster made up of women who either did not make Team USA or who are competing for other countries. So you have players like 9-time All-Star Nneka Ogwumike, 6-time All-Star Dewana Bonner, Arike Agumbawale, Jonquel Jones, and then you have, for the first time since 2014, 2 rookies make the WNBA All-Star team. And you see them there, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, which is frankly awesome. Like the fact that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have made their first All-Star game as rookies, first 2 rookies to do it since 2014, is just a testament to not just their popularity within the sport, but also how they have made immediate impacts on both of their teams. And this will also be the first time that Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese are teammates. So they've never been teammates before. They've obviously competed against each other many a times, from the college ranks to now going against each other in the WNBA. They've been pitted against each other in many, many ways, but now they will be on the court together as one on Team WNBA, taking on Team USA on All-Star Weekend. And what is perfect about this is how they both earned it, right? Like, this isn't a gimmick. This is 2 women who were taken 1st and 7th in last year's WNBA draft, or this year's WNBA draft, excuse me. And all they have done since is been impactful for their team, grown into their WNBA roles, and competed. And it doesn't have to just be that. Like, they are also wildly popular. And when you look at the fan voting that helped make up a large portion of the WNBA All-Star selection, it is undeniable the Caitlin Clark effect. Like, Caitlin Clark received 735 votes as the top vote getter in All-Star fan voting. You have Aaliyah Boston with 618,000, Asia Wilson 607, Brianna Stewart 424, and then Angel Reese with over 380,000 votes. And when you put this in comparison to last year's top 5 fan vote getters, their total came to 732,368. So when you look up at 2023, Asia Wilson, Stewie, Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young, they all combined for just over 730,000 votes. If you tally up the 5 top vote getters from 2024, that is 2,732,368. 2,700,000 people collectively voted, or votes were collected from the fan portion of All-Star selection. And this came last night, where if you were watching the Fever Aces game, you saw the 5th most attended game in WNBA history, with Fever Aces being played in Las Vegas. That crowd was wild. You continue to see this every time Caitlin Clark takes the floor for a WNBA game, and it's carried over into the voting. And, you know, we've talked a lot about the Caitlin Clark effect and how it's undeniable and she's a phenomenon. And it also shows that this league was ready to be elevated into this space. So yes, she has been a huge driving force in more eyeballs, more attention, all of that. But this league was ready for it, and it's risen to the occasion, and I think that's really exciting. And the fact that you have Caitlin and Angel Reese, both rookies, representing kind of this shift into this new space, is one of the coolest things you could have asked for All-Star Weekend. They don't want it to take away. Caitlin Clark specifically said last night, like, I don't want this to take away from everybody else. It will be one of the biggest storylines, and that's okay too, and that can be celebrated.
And then once we talk about that, you pivot and talk about everything else. Like, that's how this has to work if it's going to legitimately grow the interest in the game. And not just Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, 2 rookies on the All-Star team. Think about the young players also on the All-Star team. A player like Aaliyah Boston, Mitchell is out there as well, 2-year, 3-year players. Like, this is a chance. All-Star Weekend in everybody's sport is a chance for you to get better acquainted with some of the best in that sport, and let them show their personality, so that in the future, maybe as soon as mid-season or maybe next year, we don't have to have Indiana Fever games every time it's on a WNBA game is on national TV. This is a chance for us to tell some of the really cool stories from like a Bonner, from Jonquel Jones, from obviously Angel Reese, Aaliyah Boston, and the rest of those All-Stars. It's a chance for them to get in front of a camera, be personable, let the personality shine, and for us as fans to fall in love with players outside of just Caitlin Clark. I'm not saying you got to choose either love Caitlin Clark or love one of these other players. I'm saying, hey, open your heart up and love everybody. So that's what I'm hoping for. Angel Reese, by the way, is just on an absolute tear.
11 straight double-doubles.
Tear.
11.
What did Mike used to say about Jonas?
Double-doubles.
Roll out of bed
and
get
out of bed,
double-double?
get a double-double. That is Angel
Reese.
Reese. And
that's
watching
right
the video of Tamika Catchings tell her that she was going to be a WNBA All-Star was so sweet. Like, the emotions behind it are everything. And she's gone through a lot this season. The incredible amount of attention has come with a lot of online abuse and hate and things that I imagine have been really difficult to get through. And so to be rewarded with an opportunity to go play in your first WNBA All-Star game is pretty special. I saw these numbers on one of my Yahoo newsletters this morning, and it stunned me. I mean, we've been watching it, so it shouldn't stun me the way that it did. The WNBA's average numbers across all networks, and again, the majority of Caitlin Clark's games are on national television, so in a place where they can be watched. But Caitlin Clark games have had 1.18 million viewers. All other games, 428,000. So as you continue to see everything rise, it will be really cool to see those numbers, a little shrinkage between the vast difference of them. But I mean, Caitlin Clark's been amazing. My cousin just took her daughter.
Amazing for
the league.
The league.
It has. It's one of those things where, and again, it's always a tricky thing to talk about just from a standpoint of the Caitlin Clark stans will say, see, you have to say it. This is what it was always about. This was the understanding that this league needed Caitlin Clark. And sure, that can be true. But I go back to what I was saying in reference to this league was positioned to thrive over the last 5 years. Honestly, ever since coming out of COVID and looking at both the attention on women's college basketball and the disparities that were still existing between equality and fairness between the women's tournament and the men's tournament, and then carrying that over into the WNBA and all of the activism that happened during the bubble and growing the W and the movement around women's sports matter and the W matters and all the cool kids are watching the W. All of that set up this moment for Caitlin Clark to help usher it into an even greater space. And her fans are undeniable. She is undeniable. She is carrying a massive weight of celebrity behind her. And she will be one of the biggest stories of All-Star Weekend. You can make the argument that she'll be the biggest story, but I'm with you. That's the exciting part for the WNBA as a whole, is that it presents this opportunity. And I would challenge everybody who is still standing outside the fence or outside the gate, if you will, and just peeking in and only being is Caitlin playing? I'm only interested if Caitlin's playing. And instead walk right in, because then you can get fully inundated by the excitement and the greatness that is the WNBA.
The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hart, live every weekday at 8 a.m.